Welcome back, everybody. We have returned at the Teamfight Tactics Galaxies OCENA Finals presented by Juke.gg. Doa here along with Becca and Mortdog. And this is where it gets really exciting, right? We've got 2 games down. We've got Mismatched Socks at the level at this point where if he gets a first, he's going to win the whole thing. He's reached that 16-point threshold. But beyond that, as you can see here, every other player in the top 8 is at the very least a first place away from hitting that 16-point threshold themselves. So all of these players still in it if Mismatched Socks doesn't first in game 3.
Yeah, that's one of the crazy things about this format, right? Is like Oboe or Robin songs here. If they get first next game, they're like basically tied with Sox at that point, and a single game away from winning it. So this really is anyone's game.
Right,
And it's
exactly.
interesting because some of the players have enough points where they only need to like top 4 or top 5 even to qualify. And then if Sox is still alive, I think once you qualify with those points, you don't care about your placement and you just try to keep Sox from winning. So it's gonna be
Yeah, I
exciting.
mean, because the second highest player is going to get that spot in the global championships as well. So even if you don't get first and win the tournament, you still
Oh,
have a
that's
chance to
true.
move on to the global championships too. So
Mhm.
yeah, while everybody wants to win, I think you can be pretty happy with the second place here too.
But
What's the better story? If Sox just smashes everyone and just takes it in 3 games, or for someone to come back and to come, yeah,
I
is the comeback better?
I think Sox coming in with a 2-2-1 to nail it in would be quite the story.
Hmm.
So there's a part of me that just kind of like rooting for him to come in and be like, "Yo, I'm the best. Let's go." So part of me
Also,
wants that.
after like hundreds of games and dozens of tournaments over the years, like I'm of 2 minds of this, right? Where on the one hand, you want a player to really make a name for themselves, and one way to do that is to just have an absolutely dominating tournament finals. And so that's great. That's great for the story of Mismatched Socks, right? And so I kind of want to see that for that reason. I also want to see this go to like as many games as possible because the more games we have, the drama ramps up each time. So that's great to just watch. That's just a ton of fun. So it's kind of good both ways, but just in different ways. And this is also good because we're on a galactic armory, which has become probably maybe my favorite galaxy. Although I really like Salvage World right
There
now
are
too.
also 0 votes on this
Oh
carousel.
no!
Fox just wrote "dude" and then he deleted and wrote "more talk, please."
Yep. I definitely saw
No
that.
bows.
No votes.
No bows. Hey, he can make a GA. Whatever.
Yep.
I.e.
The other thing
Oh
I'll call out
man.
is we've seen this tournament structure a couple times where it's like, okay, prevent somebody from winning. And every time so far that we've seen that, no one has actually succeeded in doing that. It's always
Mhm.
like, well, the person just ends up taking it a game or two later. So
Right.
it'll really be interesting to, as you mentioned, like, will they actually start counter drafting him or targeting him or building items to stop him, or do they just let him have the first?
Yeah, I think it's fun to talk about it, but honestly, this game is too hard to be worrying about someone else's problems
A lot of times, yeah.
until you're like comfortable enough.
I think
Until
you
you're
can
in a
do
good
little
spot.
things. Like if it doesn't hurt your economy, you can grab like, if somebody's going for that Yi 3, you can grab one and hold it on your bench, right? And just try to make it that much harder for them to pick it up, as long as it doesn't hurt your own economy. Like there's little easy things you can kind of do for that. But yeah, I agree that a lot of times it's hard enough to play the game on your own that you're not going to be able to grief other people too effectively.
Do you guys want to take some bets on how many mech players are going to be in this lobby?
Well,
Many.
it's interesting because the Galactic Armory items
Ooh.
gave them an Infinity Edge and an armor, which means we're going to see a lot of armor tankiness, and the Infinity Edge kind of gets countered by that. So, do you go that obvious route, or do you start doing something like the Shroud and build something else? So,
Have you guys ever had those games where you think you're not going the obvious route, but everyone else in the lobby also thinks they're not going the obvious
yeah.
route, and then suddenly everyone is playing this random comp that you didn't think
time.
anyone else would be?
yeah. One of the negatives I've heard about Galactic Armory also is you find yourself in this position like Sox is, where you have like 7 items, and you feel like you have to slam it and make a decision probably earlier than you would in any other galaxy. So, for example, if he slams, an IE or a red buff or something like that, and then the store doesn't follow, he ends up in a really bad position. So, players can often feel really pressured by these extra items in Galactic Armory.
I feel the pressure right now, just looking at his bench. I have no idea what I would want to build right now.
Yep.
I think it's really good to kind of slam some of those like general good items, right? Like Guardian Angel, Bramble Vest, like we're seeing here now. Sometimes even Thieves Gloves, although it's hard to make the excuse to use 2 gloves like that this early. But yeah, it's safer to just stick with generally good items. Okay, yeah, Bramble Vest, Trap Claw.
That's looking like a mech.
Yeah.
Right, but see, so now we're in the situation where he's like slammed mech items early, and if it doesn't pan out, he's just got a bunch of items that aren't going to fit, say, a sorcerer build or something like that. Though I'll at least commend that he went some of the most generic items possible that can probably work in just about any color.
Yeah, I think this is smart.
That play.
Yeah.
I would have been so tempted to go Cybers because I have two gloves, and then there's the Leon illusion in the shop, or like at least go for it. But
yeah, I was definitely kind of thinking that too. Going the Bard is kind of interesting because you're gonna have all these items, and if you can level just a little bit quicker with the Bard and you are going mech, then you give yourself that like slight advantage to find the Fizz sooner. So that's if he is kind of thinking mech, which these items would work great for that. It's an interesting little tech to sort of give yourself an edge.
I do want to call out, I think Becca's actually really right there, by the way, that like Cybers might have been a much stronger play. Having the 2 gloves already and the sword means you're a bow away from IE Last Whisper on a vein, and that can be a really strong cybernetic itemization. So.
Maybe Socks is traumatized because he hasn't gotten bows this whole day. So he's like, well, there's no way I'm getting this Last Whisper, so...
You got 1 bow last game, and that's, I think, it for the day so far.
Yeah.
Hey, sometimes the blade doesn't choose you,
Yeah, he was not the chosen one.
Yep, that's right. Like, see, there's a difference. Like, you say me mech, right? So you are making the decision to go mech, whereas Blade Masters, like, the blade chose me. You have a passive role in that relationship with that comp,
I will say, Sox is in a really good position to win this game already. And the reason I say that is he got the Bard at 2-1. He's already level 5. Bard does really well. Well, if you get it this early and get a bunch of meeps, you can snowball the game and win.
Right.
So if this goes well for him, we could already be seeing the end of the tournament here.
Yeah, honestly, I was super surprised by how many meeps he's already formed. I guess it's the chrono plus the GA and the tankiness of the brawlers. But I would never have made this play, but obviously this is working out super well. He's gotten so much free gold because of the XP. And
yeah, I mean, the fact that everyone had the armor, like you said, is making it very tanky. This Blitz is already running 30% dodge and can't be crit, and is slowing things down with the Trap Claw. So yeah, he's probably getting 2 meeps at least a fight, maybe even 3 or 4. And so again, that is a massive advantage early game. He might hit 6 before Krugs.
Yeah. Man, Socks with health and with money? That sounds really scary for the lobby.
Yeah.
Win streaking with the Bard is like the ultimate dream in TFT right now.
It also griefs the other players because they have to play against this level 6 player soon.
Yeah.
And they're just going to be taking so much more damage.
I was talking about this morning too, because there were some players talking about how is Bard even worth it after the nerf anymore? And I was a pretty strong yes, maybe not as much, but definitely you can get the early Bard. It is a big win. And so we're seeing Sox again, like already have farming 10, 12 gold worth of value off of this Bard. That's worth.
Yeah, to me, like the difference is that rather than just throwing the Bard out there and being like, well, there, I have got Bard and that's amazing now. Now, when you put that Bard out there, you may have to support it with an item that you didn't have to before initially, or you'd have to pay attention to your positioning a little bit better to maximize the meeps. So just kind of like, I think you can still get a big benefit from Bard. You just have to play better around it than you did in the past. Yeah, it's not quite as mindless.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So I like it. I like any change that makes you have to play better. That's always a good change in my book.
So I think Grand Vice looks like he's just going for Rebels with the Deathblade and the red buff GA.
Yeah, it seems like Jinx items for sure.
Yeah, the items are awesome, actually.
I feel like every time I watch Grand Vice's stream, there's a moment in like every single game where he goes, I'm not going Rebels, am I? And then he goes Rebels. It's like every time I watch him.
I like the inflection you said that because it sounded just like Grand Vice.
I'm
telling you, like, watch his stream. He seems resistant.
Am I? Oh.
It's not Rebels, is it?
and again, this is what I called out about Galactic Armory, right? People are slamming items early, kind of locking themselves into a build, this, like you said, definitely looks like a Jinx Rebel build for Grand Vice. If he struggles to find that Jinx, you know, could be quite bad. So
Yeah.
The
Hmm.
change though to Galactic Armory, I really liked. I
Oh, yeah,
prefer
for
this
sure.
over the fully made items. I thought this was a great change to Galaxy that I feel that most people did not like, and now I think people are okay with it or like it. I like it.
Oh yeah, I like this version way better than the first for sure, because it just gives you so much more choice, you know.
yeah, long term we were talking about the value of early items and how it locks you into comps versus getting items later and feeling like you're not getting items later. So it's an interesting thing to consider.
Oh, is that something I did not know? Like, if you're on Galactic Armory, do you not get the same number of items as a normal game?
You get 3 more. It's the same. It's
Oh,
3
yeah,
on
yeah.
top of the same.
Yeah. That's what I
Yeah, it doesn't affect your like bag invisible bag
Overall.
drop rates, right?
Right. Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
So everyone will have plenty of items.
All right. Well, GVA looks like he's heading towards a. Ooh.
I think he actually wins this
Yeah, he's got the items.
because of the
That is
GA.
a-
We still got the GA.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
a
doesn't even
Chad
need it.
Zig versus a puny Zig.
Exactly.
Wannabe Zigs.
Deathblade Chad Ziggs.
Last man standing Chad Ziggs.
Last Yordle standing.
So Sox didn't hit 6 yet, but it's still win streaking. So again, win streaking with Bard also. That's the crazy thing, right? Because Bard is usually like, I'm down a unit, but to be at 100 health, full win streaking, and have farmed again anywhere from, 12 to 14 meeps.
Woo. Yep. When you're playing against someone and you see that they have an extra unit, but that you see that it's a Bard, you feel a little okay, and then you lose, and then you see all the meeps on their bench, and you're just like, whoa, I got farmed. That was not fun.
It's like the
fun
worst
story.
of both worlds.
Fun story in development that happened quite a few times, and there were a few developers that were just like, this is so demoralizing. I am so sad.
Understandable.
That is-
Ionic on the Ziggs. All right.
The most manly man Ziggs I've seen.
He is.
He's about to frontline that Ziggs with full Ionic value.
That's right. He is afraid of nothing. Sox with level 6 at 3-1. Not surprising with the speed at which he's been going. But Polt also with 100 HP at a win streak too. So I wonder what's going over on that board. We'll probably see it at some point. Uh-oh.
I love it. I love that.
He did it.
I love playing Ziggs in League. You know, even though there's absolutely no correlation between League and TFT, you want to root for the champions you like playing in League.
Yep.
Yeah, I was playing TFT one day and I noticed there was this like other game in the client too where you only got to control one champion at once. I was like, oh, this is weird. I'm playing on a team with other people. Like, what's this game they put in the TFT client?
Yeah, you look at your HP bar and you're like, I have so much HP. What is happening when you're
Seems-
playing League?
Seems like there's a pretty big tournament scene around this other game in the TFT climate or client.
Nice. So Sox did lose that fight finally. Lost his win streak. Polt's still going though.
Yeah. And Polt, if he seizes a win streak, okay. Oh, it's Cybers. Okay. I think I caught a glimpse of it. I think it was Cybers.
I think the
Which-
world is only fair though that Sox can't keep that win streak up. It's not fair to have a Bard and just keep win streak.
Yeah, for sure.
The universe is like back into equilibrium now or something.
Mhm.
There's Ubo, unfortunately, down at 55 this game, so struggling a little bit in game number 3 here. He looked good a little for game number 2 for a while, but ended up finishing, what, I think 5th, I want to say?
The thing I'll call out for Obo here is he has 7 Zayas, which is good, but he has 10 gold, which is really struggling. So being that far down and burned your economy already,
Mhm.
I
So
think it's
did
going
he
to be a tough
hyper
road
roll?
of recovery.
Yeah, I guess he must have hyper rolled.
I feel like that's much rarer than slow
The
rolling
slow
now.
roll, yeah.
Yeah. You don't see a lot of people going for hyper roll anymore. It's just so mega risky, you know?
And it's kind of, it is interesting because Sox, I feel like, put out so much of the math and the calculations on hyper rolling versus slow rolling. I'm gonna guess he was already really close to having the Zaya 3 when he decided to hyper roll.
One of the things I'll call out though, like even if it is statistically better to slow roll, in this sort of risky situation Obo's in, where like a first
Yeah,
could be a big deal, going for that big play hyper roll, I think is actually kind of smart. Where it's
Yeah,
like
I
if
think
he had hit, yeah, if he had hit that we'd all be calling him geniuses, you know.
Yeah,
It's
there.
like,
And that's kind of like the tournament versus the ladder, right? Where it's like sometimes in tournaments you have to take that chance because of what you need to get done in a certain game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
yeah, I agree with that. I like that analysis. I would always be too scared to play a reroll comp in this situation, so it takes some nerves.
Yeah, and like I said, certainly if I'm in first or second at this point, I would never do it. But if I'm in
Uh-huh.
eighth, yeah,
Yeah,
it's a big play you got to make.
the Hail Mary.
Yep.
Right. So another
You in
carousel.
eighth.
Ah. Hmm. What is
Holt
Grand
also
Vice?
lost his win streak.
Yep. So nobody at that 100 HP mark anymore. Kyun, down at number 8 right now. A little bit
Yeah.
of Vanguard Chrono sniper action. Hard to tell what he's really aiming towards right now. He's got the blue buff though, so something related to that.
And it's interesting as I look across all of these boards. Again, I keep stressing this point, but it seems like in common, you see a bunch of people with items, and they haven't quite hit the champions they were looking for. They're just in these like really awkward situations, like GV8 running the Rebel, but also Kog'Maw because he's waiting for a Jinx.
Hmm.
You know, some cyber players holding items on not quite the right people. So, yeah, it's just one of the side effects of Galactic Armory and getting those items earlier.
Oh, Xayah 3 for Ubo. Yeah, he did just find it. On board with now with Polt as we're checking out how this cybernetics game is going for him.
So
Going up against UV8.
some of the really standout points for me in this patch were the item tweaks. They made items like Gunblade so much more used when it wasn't used at all, and it would build out of really contested item components, you know, like a rod and a sword.
Yeah.
Right.
And now that the Gunblade actually has a little more value, it's actually great. And like the Hodge as well, or the Hand of Justice, it builds out of super contested items, tier and gloves. And now they just feel like they're doing their role. And I feel like those balance changes really add so much to a game where the items are so where the game is so dependent on the items you get. Just adds to the flexibility of the patch for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I was so
You
happy
feel
to see the item changes. Yeah.
you feel a lot more a lot better when you end up building those or getting them on a full item carousel or something. And then you feel really clever when you like make them work, you know?
Yeah.
Like a hex tech on Jace and you're like, "Oh, this is really good."
Mhm.
Yeah.
Whereas before you just be like, oh, I have a Gunblade. It's
Yep.
Yeah.
Going for Zubo.
Ubo here, the itemization here, I really like this choice. Going the RFC, especially with all the dodge mechs we're seeing, being able to ignore that dodge keeps Xayah safe, so it's almost like a better QS. I just really like this itemization choice if you're going to run this comp.
It's a really good point. You see Polt kind of smiling and nodding there. He's like, "All right, yeah, that's pretty decent against what's been popular tonight for sure."
Yeah, if he turns that into a 6th Blade Master Xayah with those items, that could still be a first.
Oh,
So-
totally. Yeah. Oh, the mech online here as Polt does a little bit of scouting. I didn't see who that was though. That had it's Socks. Oh, okay. He got it. Wow.
Sox is looking real strong here. This could, like I said, from the Bard, it's sort of like, and I think Becca called it out, right? Where it's like getting that early level advantage to find the Fizz earlier.
I was
Yeah.
not. I was not expecting. It still might not, but I was not expecting it to end in 3 games today, even though I knew it was possible. So I'm still expecting it's going to go longer, but Sox is maybe changing my mind on that.
I mean, it's really going to come down to some Giant Slayers and positioning. I do think if anyone can beat that comp, Ubo's comp with the RFC Xayah can tear through that thing really quickly. As well as, it's funny, but like as Blade Master, you might get like a Fiora parry that can turn the tide of the battle.
Mhm.
So we'll see how that goes.
oh man, when you're playing Space Pirates and that Fiora perfectly parries your Darius, and you just oh god, you're like, that's a 1-cost unit? Okay.
Yep. Like she parries a Syndra ultimate, and you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Sox is 8 at 4-1
Wow.
and has 20 gold.
hmm
And Polt trying his best, but that mech is so strong. Maybe the Vayne can get it done?
I don't
No, it
think
doesn't
so.
look like that. No.
Especially with the Bramble there against the IE, that's a free win.
Yeah.
So I feel like today, I mean, yesterday we saw a little bit more of the riskier comps, I guess, with some people playing space pirates, etc. But here, I mean, today it does feel like the players are focusing on more consistent comps rather than going for the slightly more exciting ones. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think there's some real sweaty TFT being played right now in front of us. These guys are trying as hard as they possibly can, and so yeah, sometimes it does narrow your focus as far as compositions go a little bit.
I mean, we've basically seen 4 comps played today, right? We've seen Mech, Cyber, Astro Sniper, and Jinx Rebel. And it's been different variations of those, but everyone's sort of rushing to see who can get those first right now is what it seems like.
So early Zephyr did lift that Teemo for a while, but it didn't end up helping out Polt that much. That's still a pretty big loss to Kyun there. Kyun starting to climb back up. He was a little bit low, but now he's starting to get some wins just on the outside of the top 4. Looking at this
into
did he have Obo as well? I think
Obo was win streaking for a while, but has now dropped off. So clearly he's struggling a little bit here with that Xayah. I think that's probably one of the more unique comps we've seen today, actually. Even though, I mean, it's a pretty standard Xayah comp, but not a lot of people running that this tournament.
Yeah, we definitely did see the Star Guardian comp as well last game.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
With the Nico in the front. Yeah.
Yeah. Kurum looks like he's going for some Cybernex as well. He's got a Force of Nature too, so getting the little edge that comes along with that and getting a win over Polt. So Polt's starting to drop a little bit through the rankings here. Sub 50 now, but still in 4th for the moment. This is actually shaping up to be potentially a really, really tight lobby from like 4th down to like, well, 8th, honestly.
Yeah, well, that's true. I think everyone right now has got their eyes on Kurum. It's like, please, somebody stop that Sox because otherwise that's over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or at this point, if you accept that Sox is going to win, you're like, how do I get enough points to get 2nd place?
Yeah, exactly. And if we think about the players that are in that range, then it's players like Kyun, Cottontail at 13 points apiece, Grand Vice at 10, even players like Polt at 8 still have a shot, you know?
Okay, so of those, Cottontail sitting the best.
Yeah. So. All right, and we're going to check out Kurum's board here. So currently in 2nd place, currently on a win streak, 6 Cybernetic already. Seems pretty quick, and he's on the verge of hitting that Aurelia 2 as well.
Aurelia 2 and found the Echo. That's the other big one that...
So he was debating whether or not he wanted to buy that because maybe he wanted to move the items. Is that why he was wondering? Because he could have just sold that first Aurelia and moved the Thieves Gloves to someone else because he still has extra Aurelia in shop.
Yeah.
Part of it too is that like when you combine someone wearing Thieves Gloves, it changes the items on them, and those were like really good Aurelia items too that were on that version of Thieves Gloves. But I think the Aurelia 2 is just better than, you know, whatever items she happened to have at Aurelia 1.
Yeah, no, I thought it was weird that he was doing that because I thought it was moving the Thieves Gloves, but it makes so much more sense that way. Yeah, I think you want the Thieves Gloves on Aurelia.
Yeah. Didn't help him though. Kyun getting the win. Kyun starting to pick up some speed here a little bit. Now it's Robin Songs and Grand Vice down at the bottom.
Yeah, Kyun's got that strong Astro Sniper comp online. I saw him hit the Jin 2 earlier, so that's got to be pretty big.
Yeah. Now, Sox still on the win streak.
Deciding whether or not the snipers are better to play than the Lucian, but...
Yeah, Sniper 1 versus Blaster 2. I feel like you go Blaster 2, but
I agree.
You're really lacking the punch to get through some of these higher health targets now because Blasters are more spread out damage.
Yeah.
So anytime he runs into a mech, he's going to be in a lot of trouble.
Do you think if he gets the Vayne 2, maybe you transfer some of those items? Like you put the red buff on Echo and then you put the Death Blade over on the Vayne 2?
For sure.
Yeah. I'd imagine he wants to do that at some point. Playing against Ubo right now.
Yeah, I think Ubo's struggling pretty hard here. He was running 2 Jarvan 2s, so he's nowhere near the 6 Blade Master. I think he's struggling to find some of those Blade Masters.
Right.
And he's not near the Jarvan 3, so...
Well, this all comes back to like what we saw earlier from Ubo, where he did that hyper roll, it seems like, and he just didn't hit, you know? Didn't
Yeah.
find what he was looking for, and then your economy is in shambles, and it's hard to recover from that point. Robin Song's out in 8th, by the way.
Oh,
I always feel bad for a player out before Raptors. That always.
that's what. Yeah, that's when you know it's just a really unlucky game. I think.
Yeah.
A lot of low health players. Actually, I'm shocked. We've got 4 other players sub 30 at 4-7. That's a lot of damage
Yeah.
from
This
like
is
the top
this is
This
the
line.
is
opposite
what
of last
happens.
game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is what happens when someone is that much higher level in a lobby or that much stronger. Like with Socks, he just griefs the entire lobby.
Definitely a super top heavy lobby this time around. Cottontail, Kurum, and Mismatch Socks just dominating everybody right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Becca's right too. We see this a lot in a lot of our playtests where it's like if 1 or 2 people are just dominating a lobby, the side effect is everyone just takes a ton of player damage per round, and you end up with a very, risky bottom lobby in a quick game where, most of these players will probably be out before 5-6. So
Seems likely. Obo finds the Riven too, so it's a nice pickup. Don't know how much it's going to help, but here we go. Kurum versus Mismatch Socks, 1 against 2. Mech online for Socks, as we've seen. He's got pretty good Victor items as well.
that mech has so much health.
Yeah.
And the lack of Giant Slayer, the lack of well, all right.
Okay.
Ending the streak.
Hey,
Nice.
RFC
And he has
never
RFC,
misses.
yeah.
Yep. Even the Lucian can help out there.
Nice.
But
Yeah,
he
the
really needs to find that vein too, I think.
Yeah, again, the RFC being a good pickup with all the dodge mechs. So again, I think that's a smart build.
Yeah.
I think he's desperate for a vein too, though. He really wants to switch those items to that vein, and he's probably suffering quite a bit right now.
Yep.
A comp that I really want to play that I haven't gotten the chance to play yet is a Lucian 3 AP comp. That sounds so much. AP Lucian 3 comp sounds so fun to me, but it's so situational, and I haven't encountered the situation yet.
Yeah,
It's hard to find the luxury of time to like roll for a Lucian 3, I think, in a lot of games right now.
yeah,
But it's so nostalgic of other sets where Lucian was a lot more. Was it set 1
yeah,
where people did go for the Lucian 3?
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's it for GV8.
I think
Rest
so too.
in
Yeah,
peace.
GV8. Polt was at 10 HP and he is
Bolt
out
is
as
also
well.
out.
So
This
Polt and
lobby
6.
was so fast. 3 people are out already.
Yeah,
Yeah. Echo too picked up for Kurum. That's going to be pretty nice. He just needs to find that vein too. His board would be so much better if he finds a vein too and he can move some of those items around.
yeah. Yeah, I'll call it out from the beginning as well. Socks with that early bard just took that and ran with it and has definitely been making that work. And so it's really going to be up to Cottontail or Kurum to stop this. But here's the crazy thing.
Mm-hmm.
If it comes down to Cottontail and Socks, there's a situation where Cottontail doesn't want to win.
But it is against the rules
Yeah.
for a player to do that.
Yep.
Right. Well, you can't like sell your board out or anything like any of the obvious stuff, obviously. So
Yeah. It's a pretty interesting situation about this format if you're happy with second or if you play to win. So we'll see how that plays out.
I would be so happy with second here if our cousins. Yeah.
You take it. Kyun? Okay. Oh, that was close. Kyun on the verge of being eliminated as well. And he was one of our higher players. Ubo out in 5th.
This
Kyun
lobby was
sub 10.
impressive.
I know, top 4 at 5-3. That's pretty fast.
Wow.
I gotta say, Kurum's also making this Lucian work. This Lucian is doing a lot of work.
Yeah, and it's great. This is what I was excited to see with the last patch, actually, that gave Lucian all these buffs because Cybernetics for a little while was kind of feeling like find Vayne 2 or die. And now you get these games where like Lucian 2 is a perfectly serviceable carry at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Until you find the Vayne 2,
I mean,
and then you
just
definitely
panic
will switch.
at
But
you.
in the meantime, it's not as bad.
Yeah, so it feels like right now Kurum is the hero everyone's rooting for. Everyone really wants Kurum to win this game and stop Socks so that the tournament can keep going on and they can have their shot. So
Yeah, I mean,
Pretty much.
just seeing the dodge, building the RFC is so smart. It's definitely something that I would want to do, but I'm not sure I would, have scouted as thoroughly as Kurum to do it. So yeah, he knows he has to beat Socks, so building RFC is so great.
yeah, the nice thing here, and this is again one of the things about the tournament format too, is like you've played with Socks enough games, you've seen him build it twice, and you see him going down that mech path. It's like he's probably going dodge mech.
Yeah. Working pretty well. Kuhn deals a pretty big chunk of damage to Cottontail, actually. So
Oh,
Kuhn has a
okay.
chance to come back here as well.
So that was the fight I wanted to see, Kurum versus Sox, because that's like kind of indicative of how it could play out. And Kurum did win that.
Mm-hmm. Krem definitely has a comp that does well against, or the way he's itemized is definitely going to do well against him.
Yeah, Cybernetics has certainly found that sort of niche a little bit today. And the RFC in particular that we keep calling back to. And the nice thing is that it's RFC and Deathblade. So that blaster buff is going to help him stack the Deathblade faster, which in turn is going to help him burn down the mech quicker too. So yeah, good itemization for Kuramax to try to counter Sox.
Well, and here's the crazy thing: if you want to go real 5-head, is like running the Lucian with the Deathblade means you're getting the bigger blaster procs to hit the things like the backline Victor, the backline, the Mystics in the back. So that's actually much better than a Vayne.
Yeah, that's a really great point. Actually, is that he's able to deal more to the backline too at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Uh-oh. Cottontail takes another shot. Kuramax starting to go on a little bit of a win streak here.
Is really looking like that anime protagonist right now.
Yeah, because that's the crazy thing right now is if Sox wins this, Sox and Cottontail I think move on. So everyone is rooting for Kurum real hard to prevent that from happening.
Yeah, Kurum's got to take off the 500-pound wrist weight. It's time to go Super Saiyan.
Yep.
The wrist weights.
That's right. Everyone's like helping him build that spirit bomb right now.
When I think of wrist weights, I think of Piccolo, and I'm just like, you don't want him to be Piccolo.
No, but Goku wore those things too. Remember?
That's true. Yeah, Goku just copies everyone. He's such a wannabe. I don't like Goku.
I gotta get those. That's like a great idea, you know.
Is Kurum the Goku here? Gotta charge up the spirit bomb.
I think he
is. Going.
That's right.
He is their last hope.
This is
Cottontail. I would say Cottontail is like the maybe he's like the Vegeta here, where it's like you're kind of rooting for him. He's cool. He's cool, but like he's part of the team for sure. But like he's not the main protagonist, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
In this particular game, no shade to Cottontail here. Vegeta's still cool.
Vegeta's my favorite, but he's definitely Vegeta. You know what I mean?
This is really close. This is really intense because again, like we're basically watching either the tournament get decided or it be in anyone's hands. So this is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's funny. Cottontail actually should be itemizing to beat Kurum, to try to beat Kurum for Sox.
Yeah,
without being without inting or anything.
Yeah,
oh, mech v mech. It's a titanic battle, but Sox has got it. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh boy, Cottontail sub 10 HP.
Kurum won. God, that's it's the battle of the two titans, and again, we're seeing cybernetic versus mech again. So
two titans. I don't see anyone with two titans.
Hey,
this is
boomer cat.
Nice dad joke.
Welcome to the club. we are in for like one of the best 1v1s ever in TFT. If we see Cottontail knocked out here, and then it's just like 270 HP players.
Yeah.
Trying to outwit each other, out-comp each other, out-maneuver. It's going to be great.
They're going to make Sox earn this. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I'll call out Kurum did finally ditch the Lucian. So he's on the Vayne now.
It's probably better to just burn the mech down quickly. I do get that. I'm just watching this mech annihilate everybody.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, it's close, but it's going to be Cottontail out.
Yeah.
Out in third. 270 HP players.
Yeah. Kurum's got the big Echo. He's got the really good items on Aurelia, the really good items on Vayne. He's got the Thresh, pulling in some strong units.
Right.
It's so interesting because Cybers are notoriously don't do as well into mechs just because of all the melees gathering around. So I'm just trying to figure out, is it just
Vayne itemization?
Yeah, is that just it?
I think so. I think you can pretty much lay it squarely at the feet of Vayne having this RFC and the Deathblade, and maybe Echo getting the backlines with these items. Like red buff is really big. We'll see how he goes. First 1v1. And the mech doing pretty well. Oh, that's a big Victor ult right there.
Yeah,
oh, wow. Vayne's dead.
Yeah, okay.
Oh
boy.
Oh my goodness, Sox.
Sox is about to slam this home.
This might be it. And so and basically if Sox wins this, then yeah, Cottontail will take number 2.
Yep.
So Kurum basically is trying to like keep his and the rest of the tournament field's hopes alive. Like everybody else in this lobby besides Cottontail and Mismatched Sox is rooting for Kurum right now.
If Twitch chat isn't doing one of those like spam this blank to help Kurum, like now's the time.
I don't know what rhymes with Kurum. Maybe is there like a emote of a worm, like spam this worm to help?
Spam this worm to help Kurum.
I don't know if there's a worm emote on Twitch.
That's a good one.
You need to put like I don't know, like a bunch of squigglies. Spam this worm to help our Kurum.
Our Kurum, wow.
Here we go. He's got another chance here. Not really any big upgrades since the last round.
These fights have been really close. It really comes down to if the Vayne dodges those Victor ults, which this time she did.
Right. Yeah.
The Mech got another ult off.
Oh boy. Boy.
Oh no.
Oh.
Oh.
Aurelia!
The Urgot was so close there. Holy crap.
That Urgot ult was just about to end that Vayne.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seriously.
Ooh.
All right.
It's like in Mortal Kombat, and it's like finish him, like get over here, but like right. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. I think one of the big things to watch out here for is if Sox hits the GP2, that's the other big thing, or any of the GP upgrades, that could swing it the other direction also, because those could start hitting the Vayne in the back line.
Yeah, for sure.
And on the other side, Kurum, I think, is trying to look for like an Aurelia 3 as a possible win condition, but otherwise this is just positioning mind games right now.
Yeah. It's all about playing that game of chicken, like who's going to move last, right?
Okay, I think the Vayne is really well positioned here.
Oh, but you got
no, the Victor.
Big shot from the Victor. Yeah, that's right. And that red buff ticking away.
Oh, the
Urgot grabbed the Vayne. Oh, but she lived. The Urgot went down.
I don't think it matters. I think the mech's too strong right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems that way.
So Cybers, I guess, has the advantage of always being able to play Mana Reaver to slow the mech down, slow GP down, hopefully. But
true.
There it is.
GP 2-star. The Rage Blade isn't a huge upgrade for anybody really there. I guess Soraka can get more healing done, maybe, or maybe Thresh can pull people in.
Thresh for more pulls, I think.
Yeah.
I think it comes down to positioning that Thresh, right? So that to make sure the Thresh hooks in the Urgot in an angle that will hit the Vayne.
Yeah. Kurum got Last Whisper, by the way, which is actually pretty good for him.
Interesting. Yeah.
Because Vayne's still missing a third item.
Okay, that's what I was trying to remember, if Vayne had that third item or not.
No, Vayne's just got the Deathblade RSC, so...
Oh, that's big then.
That's a decent one.
Yeah, that's a pretty important upgrade. Where to go?
They're both on 2 lives, basically. Unless Kurum gets blown out of the water.
Yeah.
But again, that GP2 might have just been enough. That GP2 is going to be big.
Well, that's GP2 with faster impact as well now. So
yeah, which means the stuns real quick.
Yeah. Where did that Last Whisper end up? Because I don't see it on the Vayne yet.
Let's find out. No, he hasn't placed it yet.
Oh, he hasn't placed it. Oh.
Hopefully nerves don't...
there you go. All right. I was worried for a second there. I was like, not like this.
The Thresh actually didn't get his ult off.
That mech is dropping really fast.
Yeah, the Victor ult missed the Vayne completely, and like you said, the Thresh didn't go. I think this one's Kurum's.
Seems that way. One round. Oh! Yeah, one round goes to Kurum.
17 damage.
I like Kurum's positioning there too, with the Caitlyn in the corner across from the Thresh.
Yeah.
Right.
So if the rounds are that close, we still have another 2 or 3 rounds per person, because that was only 17 damage.
Yeah, certainly.
Oh man, this is so good. Back and forth. They're just taking swings at each other. The position is so important.
I'm still trying to think of something you can spam to help Kurum.
Worm.
Because Worm is, it's not, you know. it's close, but it's not quite there yet.
Okay, I don't like this Vayne positioning. I think the Victor ult's going to go right for it. It's going to come down if the Vayne dodges it, which it did not.
She did not. That's a lot of damage. But can she? Does she take any more damage? That's the question.
I mean, she killed the mech. The mech's dead.
Yeah.
Oh, it dodged!
Oh, dodged!
Oh, there's a lot of people to kill though, and not much HP for the Vayne.
She's got it.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
It dodged the Victor ult.
That's so big. We might be going to another game. This is super close. This is the best 1v1 I think I've seen in TFT yet this year.
loses
Found the
this.
worm to
He went from
help
42 to
Karam.
23. He took 21 damage last time. He still might have another life, even if he loses this.
Yeah, with
wait,
how close it's been.
Because
Spam
it
this
was
worm to help our
21 last
Karam.
time.
spam this box to help Socks.
That's right.
If you really want to watch this fight, pay attention to the vein, because the vein is the key here.
Right.
Focus on that vein. Again, it's in the corner, which means Victor could hit it.
Oh, it went the opposite way.
It went the opposite way, so I think Kuram's got this.
Yeah, Vayne is totally free to fire on the mech right now and the rest of it. Yeah, looks really good. There goes the mech.
Enough things are alive. That's it. That's it.
That's big.
Oh, GG, perfect.
Wow!
He did it. He did it.
Oh
We're still
my
going.
God.
We're going to game 4.
That's insane. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine how Socks feels right now? How Cottontail feels right now? That was nearly it. That was nearly the tournament and the spot in the Galaxies World Championship for Socks and Cottontail. It was so close. It was so close.
That was intense. And like you said, I don't think we've seen a more intense one-on-one, just like slugfest where the tiniest misposition could have changed everything. And so now the tournament is like wide open.
Look at the smug look on Kuram's face. That's how he looked at the webcam after he won that too, I bet.
I was too focused on that to know where the points are right now.
Yeah,
but,
dude, there must be so many people that are qualified now. Kiyun maybe? Cottontail for sure.
Cottontail for sure.
Yeah, I think
Kuram
there's a
for
few.
sure. After that, I don't know.
We'll see in a moment. But yeah, that's and I would say this is a great time to do exclamation point scores, but we're waiting for them to be updated yet, so don't do it quite yet, guys.
I thought of it finally. I'm sorry.
Oh, you did? All right, go for it.
Drum to help Karam.
Oh,
I
that's
thought
I didn't think of that.
Well, a little late now.
Drum to help Karam. Yeah.
I'm going to assume Kuram won because of Twitch chat. I couldn't see Twitch chat, but I'm sure they were spamming and saving him. So
you could like do the hashtag and then like spam this checks to help Kuram X.
Nice.
Oh.
That's pretty good.
Kind of, but it's not. It's close, but it's not perfect yet. At least we've got another game to figure it out.
Nice.
Hashtag no bias. But let's take a look at Kuram's winning comp. We certainly got a lot of chances to look at it, but it's like you kept mentioning, Mort. It really was about the vein, and if the vein could escape the Victor ults specifically, and if it could, and also the itemization. The last whisper off the cane was huge.
Yeah, the last whisper was massive. The RFC was also massive because again, Sox was building the dodge mech, so preventing that was good. We see the usual redemption on Fiora, that was good. These gloves on Aurelia, so everything else pretty standard. Also a locket to buy that front line some time. So yeah, Cyber's doing really well this tournament.
Yeah, that's something to note. I think Cybers has won every single lobby this game or today so far.
Has it really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because every time we keep reviewing these redemptions and these last whispers and these giant slayers. So yeah, Cyber is 3 for 3, which again, for someone like Sox, who's been playing mech and getting second in a tournament format where you need to hit first, does he pivot? Or does he keep trying to bang that mech drum? Because this could be where he just seconds his way to second place. So
hey, second place is still a spot in the final.
So. We'll see. Yeah, well, certainly, like I said, at least with the OCENA players here, there certainly is an established meta. It seems like we've seen 4 comps do really well. People know how to play it. So yeah, it's interesting to see.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I'm just glad we get another game. Honestly, we're gonna take a look at the standings in just a second here. It would have been cool. Like I said, it's a cool story if Sox can come in and win it at 3. But now we've got something truly epic. And look at that. Kuramex, Kyun, Cottontail, and of course Sox all poised to win the whole thing with the first place. And so now it gets pretty wide open. And that said, still everybody else has a chance to hit 16 points if the game doesn't end right here. If Grand Vice Polt, Ubo, or Robbins wins this next game, we're still going.
Yeah, I think the pressure's on here too, because Sox, while it looks like he has a dominating lead, a single 8th could cause that all to come crashing down. So he's really got to stay on his A game now, which, going from that one fight away to victory to that would be really heartbreaking. So hopefully he can come out with a nice consistent comp. And again, I almost wonder if the strategy here is like for Sox is play a top 4 and keep it safe. We'll see.
I mean, this is the moment where like your metal is really tested as a pro gamer, right? Where it's like this is really like the big tournament moment where your mental either holds or it breaks, and like only the very best will be able to keep it together. And I feel like Sox is one of the people that can. So we'll see. I got a good feeling about it, but it's much more open now than it was.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm.
It definitely would be smart for Sox to go for just the second place finish, just to
Mm.
qualify for Worlds. But I think everyone as a player has that drive to go first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. I'm probably thinking too logical, but yeah, the competitive drive of like be the king, come out number one, I think matters a
Of course.
lot. And
But
prize pool.
it is a little harder though because Sox hasn't been getting firsts as far as I know. I think he got one first yesterday, so
Yep.
it is harder for him to win with this format. So, well, um, historically, it would be harder for him to win based on this format. So going for second seems really smart.
Mm.
Yeah,
So
even
another
even based on yesterday, we didn't see a lot of mech firsts. We saw a lot of mech top fours, but we didn't see a lot of mech firsts.
true.
It's the slashers.
Another thing to consider too is that we still have Kyun out there who is quite capable of taking a lot of first places. He got 3 of them yesterday and one already today, and now he's in range to win the whole thing as well. He was my pick going into it. I'd like to remind you. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah, like I said, we went from this position where only one player could win it to now half the lobby can
Yeah.
win it this time. And so, yeah, this gets where it gets pretty crazy. Not that it wasn't crazy in the last 6 one-on-ones we just watched, but
Mhm.
That was a super interesting game, just with all the players being knocked out so early, and then just having these 70 health players go for it.
Right.